back to episode 8 of What Do You Slay? We are here with Coach Taylor, Coach Kara, and Coach Becca. Again, we are coaches at Slade Fit Club, which is a gym located outside of the greater Austin area, and we are here to chat with you today about one of our, I don't know if it's our favorite subject, but I feel like something we talk about a lot here at the gym, and that's going to be sleep. We're going to talk to you all about what sleep means to you and your health and fitness goals, why it's important, and how to make it better. Most people need a little help with that, probably us included. So we're gonna dive right in. Like I said, this is a huge topic we talk about with most of our clients, and the reason for that is it's usually a big piece of your health and fitness journey, and that it's probably the biggest thing that's holding you back in your goals and building muscle mass or losing weight, I would say.
Repairing.
Yeah, and that's exactly why. So if you're not getting enough sleep, your body can't quite repair, build, break down, do the things that it needs to do to kind of reset and regulate for your next day and continuing it on. So do you guys know the average amount of sleep you should get?
7 to 8.
Yeah, that's actually right. So for adults, surprise. We know things. For adults, it's about 7 hours on average of what you should get. Kids need a little bit more. The older adult just seems to get a little bit less, so they don't necessarily need any less. So if you're not getting 7 hours of sleep, probably something to consider, and we'll talk about ways to kind of help you get on that schedule. But if you are getting 7 hours of sleep, but you're like, I am not sleeping well, that's a huge
quality.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in terms of quality of sleep, we go through 4 different stages of sleep. So there's 2 stages of like lighter sleep, then there's deep sleep and REM sleep. And we go through that several times throughout the night. I don't know the exact number.
I don't know.
I think it depends on the person.
It does, yeah.
But obviously, like, the longer you have in deep sleep, the better quality you're getting, as opposed to people that have restless sleep where they're not really getting into that deep sleep where they're in that repairing state.
Yeah, that's where a lot of your body fixes and eliminates toxins and bad things, but helps. It's a really, really good time for your body. So you want to
sleep.
In deep sleep. You
Yeah,
want to
deep and REM.
Yeah. I don't know about REM. I know about deep. I'm not
Yeah.
positive. I'd have to look into the REM, but I mean, get both. They're great.
The more the better.
Something I learned recently was about the snooze button and how if you are a snooze button person, you're probably actually making yourself sleepier by snoozing. Because if you notice, if you snooze and you go back to sleep, you go into like crazy REM.
Yeah.
You go into a straight deep sleep because you just woke up out of probably in the middle of that deeper REM cycle. You put yourself back in it, but then you wake up 9 minutes later. So your body doesn't have the time to, in theory, circle through those 3 or 4 stages that are left. Yeah. So then you wake up feeling groggier than you would if you would have just rolled right out of bed.
Yeah.
So
Cranky.
I know, I'm a big snooze person.
Are you?
Yeah. Probably 3 or 4 times.
I don't have an alarm. Well, I have a kid. He's
Oh,
my
wow.
alarm. And he is on point every morning.
Biological clock.
Or my internal clock wakes me up every time. Even when you want to sleep in on the weekends, that sucker's just like, bing, time to wake up.
But
And
that's
you're like,
good.
Yeah.
I know it's so good, but sometimes you're like, I want to sleep in.
Oh, I'm too healthy.
Problems.
Yes. So going into that, the circadian rhythm and all that. So the consistency of how you sleep, when you put yourself to bed, and when you wake yourself up in the morning is actually a key factor to having your good quality sleep.
100%. Yeah, it's very key. And it changes for your age and how your circadian rhythm can work. So I think when sun goes down, your melatonin naturally, it should naturally start to rise in your body, and the indicator is sunlight.
Right.
And same way with the morning. So when the sun rises, your melatonin goes down, cortisol starts to rise, and that's what helps get you out of bed. So you really want those to kind of be working and balancing really well. But your circadian rhythm, you kind of have to start it and get in that process.
Train it,
And then your body, like I think mine is very trained. So soon as I start feeling tired, I don't fight it. Like I go right to bed. So if I'm tired at 8:30, I'm going to bed. Or if it's 9 or like I'm a little bit more wired, I try and still keep it in that, my range. I go to bed between 9 and 10. So it just depends. If I feel tired, I listen to my body and I go to bed. And then when I wake up, it's that first feeling. But I'm a mom, so sometimes I'm waking up at 2 and I'm like, I'm going back to bed for sure, But sometimes I just either ignore it or just keep going with it.
Yeah.
I probably should just get up even on the weekends at the same time. But
Well, and I think that's a good point though, as far as like how you're reacting to light and the stimulus of that. Why you're always hearing people say, don't watch TV before bed, don't have your phone next to you, because that light is stimulating your brain to think it still needs to be awake. So you're actually not going to be producing the optimal amount of melatonin that are going to send those tired signals to you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people that are like, I had to watch another episode, or I kept scrolling, and it's like, well, put your phone down, read a book or something,
Yeah.
and then you'll probably find you actually can fall asleep much more quickly.
So I read something also was, and I noticed it, like I cannot do any of the Instagram, Facebook scrolling right before bed. It's like trying to park a car going 70 miles an hour. Like you're trying to tell your brain, okay, it's time to shut down and park it, but you were just going 70 miles an hour with that finger scrolling up, and it's just taking in all the information.
Yeah.
And then you're like, stop, and it's bad news there. So for me, like I watch, I think they're fascinating, but kind of boring shows that help me like
Oh yeah, you watch
calm
like the greatest places of the
I
world or
watch-
something.
Me and National Geographic
She's like,
were
we're
really
gonna
good.
dream about tonight.
I know. So we watched this Europe from Above, which is so fascinating. It's all these amazing places in Europe, and they go into detail, but it's kind of like not too stimulating.
And they have like a
super-
low,
yeah.
Low,
tone,
calm, yeah.
Okay.
So we kind of wind down to a show like that. If I watch like a shoot 'em up or suspenseful, and I'm like, I can't go to bed. I'm too worked up. So there's like some mindfulness to
absolutely.
everything I'm doing of preparing to get my body and my mind to shut down.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone who works a later shift? They get off at like 8:30 or 9 p.m. How do you train your body to get into
Yeah.
that almost like off schedule routine when it's not necessarily with the sunlight?
It's hard.
It's
So
harder
it's-
for sure.
It's something. So so I was actually thinking about her husband, who has to occasionally like work these very late overnight shifts, but that's like not his normal. Like he'll get thrown a couple of those, but
Yeah.
man, that wreaks havoc on his like sleep and his energy and his whole cycle is messed up. So I think if that's your schedule, you're gonna start kind of getting into that zone. From what I've researched, it's not even the ideal to have those night jobs.
Yeah.
Like
Like
that's
graveyard
like
shifts.
the graveyard shifts are like the worst on your body,
Yeah.
and all the insides. It's just the way it is.
It's
So
just
it's like,
not natural.
yeah, if you
in
have
nature.
a choice to not
Yeah.
be graveyard, like don't. Like just because
But
it's
if you are,
If
you
you
would
are-
just set up like the same way you would have a routine for the daytime.
absolutely.
You would basically like say they get off at 8:30, but they don't have to be at work until like let's say noon or 3 p.m. or something the next day. Well, then they probably want like an hour or two to wind down. So hopefully they would be eating, like as soon as they got home, essentially, so that their body has time to metabolize food and not keep them up, and then still have a bedtime like midnight.
Yeah.
And then just like minimizing the stimulus of they've been up and at work all night.
Yeah.
So then,
Like get that melatonin
yeah,
going
start
right
your
away.
routine, because
Everything.
they're gonna start to calm down and go
Yeah.
through the same check marks, and then vitamin D supplements would be super essential. That'd probably
Yeah.
be the biggest thing, because they're not seeing normal sunlight.
Yeah.
They're probably indoors doing whatever their job is.
Yeah.
So just staying up on that. and like maintaining their normal healthy habits
Yeah.
to support better sleep. Because if they're in that sensory overdrive, then nothing is gonna fix that.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree. They have like sunlights. You probably know
Yeah.
about this being from Portland, but sun lamps
like
that you can
blue
put in your
lamps.
house.
Yeah.
Or I think there might be an app on your phone that can change your camera lighting
Yeah.
to make it kind of similar to what the rays of the sun would be, which it's not obviously getting the vitamin D, but it could be, they say, I think you can look at the sun for 10 minutes when you first wake up to
Yeah.
start to set the circadian rhythm. So you
Yeah.
look at that light on your phone to start to set that cycle and that routine, at least internally, and then get your vitamin D from a supplement or go take a walk outside.
Yeah. I mean, I love it when the sun wakes me up.
I do too.
I love it.
I don't get the blackout
And
shades.
now-
But they say get blackout shades because you need for uninterrupted
Yeah.
sleep. But
Yeah.
you know, if you're bougie and you got it like that, time those
Right.
things to come
Yeah.
up
Before
before the sun.
Yeah, time it out. Oh man.
Okay, so moving on. So let's talk about signs that you need to improve your sleep. So we've kind of talked about the importance, what it looks like, the stages and all the things, but maybe you're like, okay, well, this doesn't really apply to me. But I think often, at least some point throughout your life, you are going through a period of lack of sleep or a lack of quality of sleep. So maybe
Well-
let's kind of ping back and forth and
Yeah.
maybe talk about what we see the most within our clients. And
Like repetitive injuries or getting injured frequently is just a good indicator that your body's not recovering well.
Yeah, that's a great indicator. Y'all should really hear that. Like if you are athletes or you work out consistently, or you know, if you are not getting better, or like she's saying, continue getting injured, huge sign that you gotta like reevaluate your sleep and recovery. For sure.
Like lack of progress in the gym. If you are regularly exercising, like you're supposed to be eating all the right things. You're working out 2, 3, 4 times a week, and you know, like your goal is weight loss, and you're not losing weight.
yeah.
It's a good indicator your body is not recovering well and resisting trying to lose weight.
Yeah,
High levels of visceral fat.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
This is random, but I get a twitch in my eye. I get the, and I'm like, oh, I have got to sleep better. And it happens over like many days of not resting well. And I don't know if it's correlated, but that's what happens to me.
Probably.
So I know I have to like get some good sleep.
Yeah.
If
Your
I have
mood
that.
depleted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inability to regulate your emotions and
Yeah.
mood.
Or you're tired. You feel achy and tired and lethargic, I would say. Like part of that is just reevaluating your quality of sleep. I mean, there's so many things that can go along with that, but we're talking about sleep here, and that can be one of the indicators.
Yeah.
Impulse control, like people that don't sleep well. Again, this goes with regulating your emotions, but you typically aren't in like a sound state of mind to be able to make good decisions or feel like you have control of things. You're just like, I'm exhausted, I'm gonna reach for this bad type of food, which then is
yeah.
gonna trigger my blood sugar, and that creates that cycle of just staying in a stress or inflamed state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that being awake for 18 hours and driving is actually equivalent to drinking and driving.
Yes, I've heard that
Going
too.
off of
Oh my
what you're
gosh,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah. If you've ever done
Well,
it
I
before,
mean-
it's a little freaky. It's kind of scary. Your brain is just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Whoa," like
There's
you
a
can't
reason,
focus
like,
very well.
Sleep deprivation is a form of torture because you know your body just starts to shut down or do all these crazy things because it needs that recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't think quite clearly. So those are a lot of huge factors.
Yeah.
At some point, I think we've all experienced lack of sleep, especially, well,
Yeah.
we have puppies.
Right.
That counts as kids.
They growl at us. They don't climb into bed necessarily, but
So let's talk about ways that we can improve our sleep. I feel like we've touched on a couple of things, but ways that you can set yourself up for success and
Yeah.
improve.
Well, I think there's a handful of things that you can
We touched on the
change.
circadian rhythm, which is great.
Yeah.
We touched on the no.
Don't
think they
eat
say-
quite before early.
Oh, that's good.
Don't eat, and then alcohol is a huge one of good sleep, bad sleep. So right now in my stage of life, I have to choose whether I want to have bad sleep if I choose to have a cocktail or wine with dinner or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working towards more of a day drinker.
Balance.
Balance.
Honesty.
I need to drink earlier.
Prefer to start my day with
Right.
alcohol.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, like, I gotta have a cocktail at 3 or something like that if I was gonna drink or consider that, or I'll have one and then have enough sleep to try and metabolize it before I go to bed, because I'm guaranteed to like wake up hot and sweaty, my heart rate's elevated, and I can't get into that deep sleep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are a few things. Or if you eat a really heavy meal, your body is like wanting to shut down and process, and it's like not to digest and work through all that hard food, but it has a lot of other jobs it should be doing when it's sleeping. So I think those are 2 just things on the side.
Would you recommend melatonin supplements to someone?
Preferably no.
Yeah, preferably no.
Just because your body in a healthy state is supposed to be making its own melatonin.
Yeah.
So when you're supplementing, it can trigger your body to see it as having the adequate levels you need, and then it won't produce it.
Correct.
So you create a dependency on a supplement when your body should just be able to make it.
I think magnesium is very underrated in most people.
Yes.
So we usually suggest our clients to take magnesium instead of melatonin. Usually a lot of people, it helps in so many aspects. Like there's a list of things magnesium can help with. So I would say start with magnesium to help with that. So I want to point this out that like, I think sometimes like for me, when I'm not getting very good sleep, or, you know, my kid's been up multiple times for a couple days, or my husband's sick and coughing or whatever, and I have not had good sleep for many days, and I kind of set it up, be like, okay, tonight's my night, I'm going to sleep good, but I will take, for me, half a Benadryl to help me really reassure some of that. And I think that's not a bad thing sometimes, but it just depends on you. Not that I would promote it all the time, but I think...
Don't mess around and get addicted.
Yeah, no.
I low-key was addicted as a kid.
You were?
Yeah, because
Oh,
I was like,
really?
I had severe insomnia, and my mom, I'm very sensitive to bug bites. So like in the summers, 1, I wasn't sleeping because I just didn't sleep, period, and then 2, I would have these bug bites from being outside. So my mom gave me a Benadryl, and I was like asking for it every night because I would just pass out, and I was just used to being awake and then being tired the next day. My mom was like, "No, we gotta cut
Oh,
this
no.
out.
Wow,
You have a little
interesting.
problem."
So we give Camden a small amount of melatonin just because he has trouble like calming down or like winding down for the day, and it's like 0.02 grams of melatonin. It's such a small amount, but it allows them to like relax, to be able to like fall asleep. It's like FOMO. Like he's like, oh, I don't want to miss out on anything, you know? But it's like, hold on, let's calm down so you can fall asleep. And then as for kids, sleep is so important.
Well, and it's important that you put them in the environment to be able to relax and go to sleep. I had a roommate in college that would take melatonin to go to bed, but like she wouldn't go to bed.
Oh.
So
Like
then
sleeping
melatonin
pills.
won't make you go to sleep. I think that's a huge,
Yeah.
it's not a sleeping pill. It just helps produce the things that kind of make you tired and relax.
Yeah.
So if you don't put yourself then in the environment to go to bed,
Yeah.
you're just going to stay awake, but you're going to feel groggy and tired, which is almost
Yes.
a worse situation, I think.
It's like that hangover in the morning. where you're
Yeah.
just like, it kicked in late.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll take one. Honestly, Luke and I take one every Sunday because we're so dysregulated from the weekend of like maybe we stayed up later, maybe we slept in, maybe we ate things that we don't normally do.
Yeah.
And it helps us get reset for the week. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take it at like 7 p.m. That way, by my week bedtime, I'm like, okay, ready to go sleep by 9,
Yeah,
whatever it
that's
is.
smart.
That's really
So
smart. I feel like
I'm
that's-
with you.
I'm still like that's my Benadryl right there. Like, okay, I gotta get a really good night's sleep so I can like make up for like 3 nights of not sleeping good, and then get into a routine, like have a bedtime routine. We talked about this to our nutritional clients. Is that when we were babies, when you have babies, you have this glorified routine for this child to sleep because it doesn't sleep very good. And you are sticking by it because that means you get more sleep if this child sleeps. So you're doing the bath, you got the lavender, you give the massage, we got the sound machine, but you still kind of need that as you get older. Like you
Yeah,
still
that's such a
need,
good point.
you still need like we wash our face, we brush our teeth, we drink some water. Maybe you put on like calming sound or a diffuser of a smell that helps, eucalyptus or lavender that helps promote ease and stress and rest. And then you dim the lights. So when Ryan, my husband Ryan and I are going to bed, we have a blue light in our bathroom. And so we don't turn the light on bright when we're going to bed because we want to stay in that like sleepy state. So we keep on a different color light that won't spark that cortisol and keep the melatonin going. And same thing in the morning. It's like you don't want to flick the lights on so quick, so you put on the like softer lights.
Ease into the day.
I get really
The
angry.
sun
when that happens.
rises slowly,
Yeah.
and so should you.
With those bougie blinds you got, we need some bougie dimmers to come up with it.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Let's touch on like why sleep or lack of sleep affects your cortisol levels. I feel like that's important and timely.
You want your cortisol levels to come down. I mean, you want to not have them high and on fight or flight all the time because your body can't lose weight. It's on survival mode. So it's like you need to work on that decompress. And there's so many ways of with stress or, your routine and sleep on how help bring that down, your cortisol levels down.
So if you have a lack of sleep and you're not getting enough, then your body's nervous system is going to be more prone to staying in a stress state.
Mm-hmm.
So like cortisol is not necessarily bad. It's a hormone that wakes you up, which is why it rises more in the mornings. But when your system becomes dysregulated by not getting enough rest, then that cortisol, instead of coming down as it naturally should after it's woken you up, it will stay high. And then you'll find also like you're tired, so then you have caffeine, and then you start compounding all these stressors that are going to have it maintain that elevated state, as opposed to, like I said, like dissipating, coming down, and allowing your body to regulate.
They call it tired and wired.
Yep.
Tired and wired.
Tired and
Yeah.
wired.
When you're tired and you're on
But
caffeine.
you're like wired.
'Cause your
Like
cortisol's
cortisols
so
are so
high.
high.
Yes. Okay, so are we against coffee in the mornings?
No.
No.
Hell
And there's like conflicting evidence,
Yeah.
but I find like Kara's eye twitch, like I done some research on it, and it was talking about how the best time to have caffeine is 1 to 2 hours after waking, and generally after you eat something. That way, the first thing in your system isn't a stimulant; it's food that's gonna kickstart your metabolism, do all these things. But I flipped my schedule, and I'd been eating, waiting a few hours. I flipped my schedule where I was having coffee first thing in the morning, and I developed an eye twitch, and I had it for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the caffeine.
no.
And I went back to my normal schedule of waiting, and it went away. So I was like overstimulated.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand,
But
right away, babe. First thing, get out of that bed.
Same.
It does me so good.
Yeah.
And then,
But I'm good with just 1 cup.
yeah, and
I don't
it's not a
need
big
any
cup.
more,
It's
yeah.
like a little 5-ounce cup.
Yeah.
It is not a big cup of coffee. And then on weekends I might have 2, but like that weekday, just that 1 cup, it really sets me
It
off
almost
right.
just like catapults you. It's just that little assist.
Like,
Yeah.
get you going.
little,
It's a little
little
push. But I think the tired and wired, if I have too much coffee,
Oh, man.
I almost feel worse. It's almost like
Yeah.
that was a bad decision because then
It'll crash.
well, going into magnesium, what you sent us the other day, having coffee depletes your magnesium
Yeah,
levels, which
yeah.
is an energy pushing, I guess,
Yeah,
vitamin, mineral.
Mineral.
So if you drink too much coffee, your body isn't producing what you need to just have those good
Yeah.
feelings, which just sounds so counterproductive, right? From
Yeah.
what we know about coffee, but
and for me, like I cannot have any caffeine after 3.
yeah.
Real bad. So I like even look. I'm like
For
iced
the
tea.
sleep reasons.
For
Right.
the sleep reasons.
Yeah.
Like sleep is so important to me. I can be an Olympic sleeper and sleep 10 hours.
Me too.
Like no problem. And I'm a fantastic human the next day.
Everyone will thank you for sleeping.
Yeah. Better for everyone.
It is
think,
so important.
I think all in all, our culture is very much like grind, hustle, caffeine, if you're not freaking out and
At
have
all.
anxiety, you're doing something wrong, you know, but it's really the opposite of that, and you should reflect on what does your quality of sleep look like versus oh, I have to drink 24 ounces of caffeine now instead of 16, you know.
Right.
Like upping your caffeine intake really isn't
Generally the
good.
answer.
Yeah, it's not the
bad.
answer, it's just a band-aid.
Yeah.
So
You know what I heard that kind of stuck with me is that, you know, here in America, I feel like it is glorified or odd when you like are working more than 40 hours and you're tired and you're hungry and you're stressed out. We're like, oh my gosh. But if you're like, I sleep 8 hours, I work only 40 hours, or like you kind of think of like what we recognize or kind of give credit to when people are doing like the opposite of what is healthy. Does that make sense? Like, can you feel how like that is a click, you know, like, oh, I worked 60 hours this week, or we point kind of that stuff
well, yeah, we
out,
look at
or
the shows that we watch, like Suits. When do they
Yeah.
sleep in that show?
Totally.
First of all, they're always drinking coffee, they're always
I
up
know.
late, but like they look cute while they're doing
know.
it. Like Harvey has never had a misplaced hair on his head, but he's up at 3 a.m.
Mhm.
So it's like saying these, don't I know it? It's like these unrealistic,
Yeah.
you know,
Like that job is so stressful, and they have got to be the most unhealthy human.
in real life, yes.
for
And like
sure.
we know those people, we see those people, and the number one thing we're telling them to do is sleep.
Sleep.
But when you watch these shows of these people doing these really tough jobs
Yeah.
looking great, you think that that is what you should do, how you
Yeah.
should do it, and the expectation.
How to be
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah.
Like you've got to sacrifice your health and your body and your mind to be successful, when holy moly, it can't be that. I mean, that
Yeah.
can't be long term.
Well, and by extension, how that makes like people that do prioritize, you know, getting their 8 hours of sleep or sticking to a routine that makes them feel their best, they're seen as like extreme, right? Like
Or
extreme
selfish.
health
Selfish,
nuts, where it's
yeah.
like if you tell your friends like, oh, you know, I can't meet for happy hour during the week because I have to wake up early, and they're like, oh, like you're never fun.
Yeah,
But it's like
Yeah.
it's like, well, I just want to feel good,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like it's a major selfish thing. People would think like how selfish you are to take care of yourself, or like not go to a kid something because you want to go to the gym, and it's like, well, hold on, like I've got to do these things to take care of myself so I can,
so you can
be a
then-
better human for all the things you have to juggle. But I think it's such a convoluted mindset in our society that maybe hopefully we work on changing
and
that.
normalize.
Yeah, normalize healthy movement, sleeping, all that.
Perfect. Okay,
All right.
that wraps it up with sleep. Let's go into red flag, green flag.
Oh,
I am very excited about this one.
We don't know these at all.
Line.
They are all fall themed.
Oh.
Not necessarily health and fitness, all fall.
Oh, well, if you saw our Instagram, we all love fall. It's our favorite season.
We might just be throwing green flags in there. Okay. Number one, pumpkin spice lattes. Red flag, green flag.
Green flag because I'm happy when I drink one. Red flag because it's really bad for you generally.
I just learned about autumn spice
Autumn
latte.
spice, those are
That
good.
was delicious. Not as powerful as pumpkin spice, but I think it's a green flag. But I mean, it goes with Taylor. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like in the start of the season, it's great to have one, but then that's it because they're just terrible. For
As a
you.
human, green.
Yeah, as a human.
As
As a
fitness and
trainer.
nutrition coaches.
No.
Probably a huge red flag, honestly. Okay, red flag, green flag. Decorating for Halloween.
Red. I mean, I don't do it. I just don't do it. It's not my favorite holiday. I love the season, don't love that holiday.
I'm going green flag.
I'm gonna say green.
I think it's fun.
Nothing wrong
I
with
also
it.
don't do it, but I think it's fun.
I mean, I get a few big pumpkins, sometimes real ones.
I'm gonna invite you over again this year to carve pumpkins.
Axel.
My dog loves eating the pumpkin. It's a little crazy.
Crazy. We'll
Crazy.
take our hand off.
Yeah.
Go Axel.
We don't do a lot of pumpkin carving.
Axel's not allowed around.
It's like werewolf central.
Okay, so then let's go to this one. Red flag, green flag, eating pumpkin seeds.
Oh,
Papitas.
I mean, I don't take them out of the pumpkin and roast them, but I will put some on my salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll eat them. I don't want to take the time to make them.
Facts.
So
So store-bought pumpkin seeds, green flag, we're all a part of?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like one of the best nuts for you that have high protein. So you think it's peanut? It's pumpkin.
Okay, next one. Red flag, green flag, dressing up for Halloween as an adult.
I feel like this needs context.
Last year we dressed up and it was the first time I did that in years. I don't know. I don't really like it. I don't really like Halloween.
Red flag on
I
Halloween.
know. If you make me, okay. But I think it's a lot of work to find the costume and all the things. I don't know. It's like buying you're the bridesmaid. You got to buy this one dress you wear for a couple hours
time.
one time for hundreds of dollars, and then you're like, meh.
I'm going green flag. If there's an occasion, green flag.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
To each their own.
All right, red flag, green flag. Scary movies.
Oh hell no. Red flag. Oh my.
I'm gonna say yellow.
I'm yellow
Only
flag.
because I get FOMO. I'm terrified. I watch it like this
You're-
because I'm so scared. I don't sleep well afterwards.
I know.
But I watch them because I just want to know what's going on.
Oh wow.
I can be in the mood. It's very specific, mood specific, but mostly no. Mostly red flag.
Yeah. No, there's like a huge red flag. I will have vivid ass dreams, and then I think the worst things about people
Another
coming
thing
in bed.
not to do right before bed.
Yeah.
Yes, no
Yeah.
scary movies.
Okay, last one. Red flag, green flag. Ugg boots.
Mm,
Green.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay.
Oh, good
What are you
Sunday-
gonna say about that?
Sunday afternoon.
We don't get to wear these here in
They're
Austin, Mom.
comfortable, but they are not cute.
Okay.
I think with like leggings and long socks and like a crew neck.
What
What
kind of
Uggs are you wearing?
Like a
Are they
cozy
like
fall
the-
fit.
Yeah, like those.
with the fur and their tan?
Boots with the
Boots
fur.
and the
No apple pie.
It's the
I'm
only
going
way to wear
red
them.
flag on that. Red flag.
I have a pair, but they're knitted, so I think it just depends.
Okay. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of What Do You Slay? We will see you next time.